Hi, in the first segment we talked about the power of Bosh and how Bosh uniquely manages an embedded operating system, provisions only through APIs, and has a rolling update framework that's been able to move organizations constantly forward without downtime. They've used that for security, compatibility with the latest and greatest software that's coming out, and it's really changed the game by bringing together provisioning, operating systems, and rolling updates into one powerful framework. In the second segment, I want to talk a little bit about what people are running on top of Bosh and what the consumables of the platform are. There's two major services that run on PCF. The first one, which people know fairly well as Cloud Foundry to some extent, we call Pivotal PAS. That's specifically built to run Java, .NET, Node, Python, any of the modern languages as a service. And it has a special integration with something called Spring Boot, which is the most popular cloud-native framework for Java in all of the world and in enterprise. It's about 40 million downloads a month of Spring Boot. Everywhere people are going, people are building apps with Spring Boot. So Bosh is for continuously delivering the platform. PAS is for enabling simplified CI/CD for app teams. And it does that through a process we call build packs. Bosh really runs PAS and PKS, which I'll draw for you soon, which is a Kubernetes as a service offering. And the distinction you can make is that PAS with build packs has a simple command, cf push. Then your app name, say .jar. What happens with cf push, as opposed to the end user who really wants to focus on delivering business value continuously in an organization, a process in the build pack runs detect and then compile. It says, oh, I see you've got this Java application. We know exactly how to configure that Java application to run. Let's go compile and create a container. So this is a very simplified process where you might have a 5-line manifest to do everything the team needs to do to continue to deliver this Java application, this .NET application, this Node.js application, through this magic process in the build pack, detect and compile. The other thing is that organizations can wire into this build pack process all of their policy. So they say, we want to use this JDK, if we want to configure ports in this way, all of that is configurable through the build pack. And then the algorithms kick off, configure the environment for the developer so they can focus on the business. The way I like to talk about it is that as you're building microservices, it's a lot of cognitive load just to think about how the different versions of APIs of those microservices interact, let alone having to configure the entire runtime environment for them in infrastructure. Focus your energy on that challenge, and that's really what PAS enables. So that's one of the things continuously delivered by Bosh. PAS comes out 4x a year, and our clients do major constant upgrades to PAS without downtime. So that was the first offer we had. But then there's in the classic microservices application today, there's another set of services that are running that are not as straightforward to package automatically and run automatically as Spring Boot. So let's take a conversation around something like Kafka, Apache Kafka. That's going to run in our Kubernetes environment in PKS. And PKS has some of the same challenges around continuous delivery as PAS. Kubernetes, just like PAS, comes out 4 times a year. And so the magic of Bosh to constantly deliver and upgrade Kubernetes is behind the 3 questions that I like to ask every organization. And Bosh helps us solve those challenges around deployment and upgrade of Kubernetes. People also are running other services like Elastic and other databases in PKS, as well as legacy. So you can still direct your CI/CD organizations into PKS. Here you're going to have a bigger manifest. You're going to need to build the container. So this is a you build the container environment. Whereas PAS is a we build the container environment. But they're all held together by the contract of continuous delivery, health management, and multi-cloud availability enabled through Bosh. The final element that's brought into the platform is called the Open Service Broker. The Open Service Broker allows you to connect to managed services on AWS, Azure, Google, or on-prem, and is shared across the Kubernetes and Cloud Foundry communities. It allows you to bind services into the container runtimes for apps as well as data containers and say, hey, I want to bind you to this managed machine learning service on Google. When you have an output of that, please send it to the image AI. We'll get a result, incorporate that into the application. That's what the Open Service Broker allows you to do. And so people are taking this approach to running almost all of their enterprise applications that are using CI/CD. And many of our results are that we have organizations that have gone from, say, an operations team of 250 people to manage and patch a core set of APIs. After PCF, through the automation of Bosh, PAS, PKS, they've gotten down to 6 operations people. This is not uncommon when making a shift to this kind of cloud-native automation. The better news, though, is not just allowing these folks to go off and work on more interesting business topics, but they've reduced their mean time to repair and increased their availability dramatically. If you think about it, Bosh is the declarative engine, knows exactly everything that it wants to run, will restart it for you on demand constantly. And all of the CI/CD pipelines that are enabled by PAS and PKS are, again, declarative, and they know exactly what they need to be running. They're constantly going to keep trying to heal that for you. They know how to update their operating systems, and they're API only. So this reduction in people is a lot of that non-value add work that you might have done around custom bespoke configuration, now all being driven into a pipeline and into automation. So we think this is a very exciting paradigm with PCF 2.0, the version 2.0, and the way it incorporates both container that you build as well as containers that we build environments.